Back here on The Sweat, everybody, with some very important information ahead of tonight's Home Run Derby free-to-play pool. So check out the DK Sportsbook for the free-to-play $25,000 T-Mobile Home Run Derby pool. Just answer 8 questions, including who will win the Home Run Derby and how far will Shohei Ohtani advance, to give yourself a shot at $25,000 in prizes, including $1,000 to first place. Absolutely free. Answer the questions. Who knows? Maybe you win some cash. Good for you if you do. Now I have some questions, and DraftKings contributors, Kenny Ducey and RotoWire's Paul Bruno, will do their best to answer them. So let's start with the favorite here, Shohei Ohtani plus 260. Is he the one to beat? Yay or nay, Kenny?
Yeah, I do. I think that Shohei Ohtani could have a magical moment tonight. And I think that when you look at the numbers here, Statcast did a pretty good piece. The most or the highest average exit velocity on home runs, the person who's led in the first half has made it to the finals all 5 years in the Statcast era, and 3 of those wound up winning the Home Run Derby. So I think that Shohei Ohtani hits the ball very hard. He will be able to pull the ball out to right field. You want to hit to the corners at Coors Field. You don't want to be someone that is known to, hit near dead straightaway center. And I think that his, the average launch angle is there. The average exit velocity on his home runs is there. And he could have some sort of Josh Hamilton-like, magical moment here as he continues to just ascend up the ranks in baseball and really just transcend all thought.
Well, Paul, how much can you trust this guy, considering the top seed hasn't advanced to the final since 2015, the Derby?
For me, it's in addition to what Kenny said, it's all about the repeatable nature of his swing. There's some other guys in the brackets that have very violent swings. We'll get to them a little bit later. But for me, Ohtani's is a very repeatable swing. It reminds me of Ken Griffey, Carlos Delgado, 2 of the sweetest swings that I've ever seen in my time around Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani's in that class, and it's a very small one. And I think he stands out in this group because of that and has the greatest chance to go forward for that reason.
If it wasn't Ohtani, all right, like who would be your pick to win? Like, who do you think his biggest competition is, Paul?
Well, I'm looking at a couple of charts that show no doubters as a percentage of total home runs. And among the contenders tonight, Pete Alonso, it tops the list with 12 no doubters among his 17 round trippers so far. That makes him the highest percentage of anybody in this contest, Ohtani included. He's won this event before, and that is something that I factor in as well. If this guy gets into a groove, look out for him. I think he could be another guy that surprises tonight.
Yeah, Kenny, I feel like picking Alonso over Ohtani on that left side of the bracket, it's a risk, but the 2019 Home Run Derby champion, he's the defending champion here after no Derby last year. I feel like he could really challenge Ohtani, yeah?
No, absolutely not. He's not even going to make it out of the first round. The guy who I think is one of the guys I'm looking at here is Salvador Perez, a guy who has a higher average exit velocity than Pete Alonso does, and a guy that has been shortchanged by the parks that he's played at. Statcast says that he has 6 fewer home runs than actually expected. He is second in baseball in expected home runs with over 26, and he does play in one of the best pitchers' parks in Kansas City. The guy hits the ball very hard, a hard hit rate near 50%. And look, of course, he doesn't get this. Maybe Pete Alonso gets tougher pitches to hit than Salvador Perez, but and the stakes are obviously going to be higher, and the playing field will be leveled in the altitude with 60-mile-an-hour cheese coming down the middle. But I do think that Salvador Perez has shown that he can hit the ball very hard. He has hit a lot of. He probably should have hit more home runs, and plus 1,000 odds here really don't give him the fair chance that I think he has to win this whole thing. He might not be the top competitor to Ohtani, but you got to take this value considering how well this guy has struck the ball. If he played at Coors Field, this guy might, be pushing towards the lead in the league in home runs.
Well, when Joey Gallo hits home runs, like he launches them. And at Coors Field, one of the props you can get here, Kenny, is who will hit the longest home run. Gallo is the front runner here, plus 350. Is he your choice?
He is, yeah. Look, you look at the top 2 guys. You got Gallo at plus 350, Ohtani at plus 400. Gallo has a 490-foot home run to his name. It did come in 2017. Ohtani, the longest he's ever hit one, is 470. I know we're like, oh, only 470, right? But when we're talking about a guy that, maybe with the balls not stored in the humidor and the altitude, a guy that could maybe hit the longest home run of the night, maybe go over 520. I think that's got to be Joey Gallo. I would take Joey Gallo to hit the longest home run. If I had to take anybody in baseball, I would probably pass up Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and pick Joey Gallo. This guy absolutely crushes baseballs, and he's going to crush one deep into the Colorado night here. I think that he's going to definitely get the longest home run of the night. He's a favorite for a reason.
Yep. The number 2 seed too. A lot of people think he's in a favorable situation to kind of advance through this bracket. But Paul, him hitting the longest home run here, what do you think?
I'm with Kenny on this, and it comes down to what I mentioned earlier. It's the violence in his swing. You think about the big hitters in golf, guys. They're not the most accurate, but they can sure launch them when everything goes right. And for me, Gallo's the strongest guy in this field. And if everything is in sync on 1 or 2 swings, he's going to be the one that puts it out of sight further than anybody else tonight. In my opinion, it's a lock.
What about over or under for longest home run? Is that right? 519 and a half feet. Is that reachable? There's no way that's reachable, Paul.
I'm going to say it is because of a couple of factors, guys. The air and altitude, of course, is clearly an issue. But I've heard, and you guys can confirm or deny this, but they're going to use different balls tonight, and likely ones conducive to traveling a bit further than the balls used in the 2021 regular season. So I see at least 1 or 2 of them going to go over that mark, and it grew by 9 feet overnight. It was 510 yesterday, and it's 519 today. So keep an eye on that line.
Yeah. It's interesting, Kenny, too, because I'm looking at it here. So during the StatCast era since 2015, there has been just one 500-foot home run launched at Coors Field. That came off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton in 2016. It went 504 feet. But I don't know if what Paul's saying true. If those reports are true, they're going to slide some new balls in there. Maybe this is something that can be hit tonight.
Yeah, I think Trevor Story also hit one 505 once. But look, I mean, it's a ridiculous number. It's ridiculous, and I think this opened around 503 and a half feet. And with the humidor news, the ball's not being stored in the humidor, this line has just jumped way up. I'm sorry, but I can't take this. Yeah. And when you think about the home run derby, it is a contest where you're going to get some long home runs, but as the derby wears on, you're going to get guys swinging a little easier. I don't think that, especially in the altitude, this could be a different home run derby where, considering, how easily balls fly out, you could see guys just try to go for launch angle. Like a guy like Matt Olson could really do well here. I don't think we're going to see guys try to mash the ball. And I know that like they want to break the record or whatever with the longest home run. Mark McGwire, when they had the home run derby at the last time in Denver, his longest home run, I think, was 500 feet. So
it was 510. 510 in 1998.
Yeah, 510. Right. You want to talk about juice balls? There's juice something else going on there, and he still didn't get there. So, look, I don't know. I think this is ridiculous. I think I'd take the under. Maybe at like 505. Sure, the 520-foot home run is very improbable.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And this season alone, longest homer at Coors Field, that was hit by Ryan McMahon. It traveled 478 feet. Finally, Kenny, just your overall favorite home run derby bet. There are multiple options to choose from on the DK Sportsbook.
Yeah, so I really liked parlaying it to be a left-handed batter and it to be a batter from the American League. It was minus 155 this morning on a left-handed batter. It's now to minus 180. The AL minus 195. But I really think that Ohtani has a very good chance here. And if not Ohtani, you get Gallo and you get Matt Olson as well, a guy, as Ball said, very repeatable swing, a guy that has a high launch angle, a guy could launch him into the night. I definitely think that if you can get those 3 guys, those are like my favorite options. And you could parlay that. It was plus 150. Now it's plus 135, plus 137. Those are still pretty good odds. I'd do that.
Okay, Paul, how about you? Favorite home run derby bet?
I got to ask Kenny how he saw all of my notes. I'm in sync with him all the way along the board. Ohtani wins it all, but Alonso and Olsen are my second and third picks in this thing.